intellectualization is not very impressive to a sadhu. Realization is impressive to a sadhu. And realization is manifested through humility and devotion. And that is the most important principle. We can become learned, we could, according to our capacity. The Srimad Bhagavatam cannot be understood by one's intellectual capacity. The Srimad Bhagavatam can only be understood through the process of receiving the mercy and the blessings of great devotees of the Lord. And we receive those blessings by inquiring submissively, however learned we are, even if we are great, great scholars. If we do not inquire submissively, we can never understand the Bhagavatam. And that submissive inquiry must be substantiated by menial service. Even in our own Hare Krishna movement, Srila Prabhupada was actually a very good scholar, but Bhaktivedanta. Vedanta means the end of knowledge, but what is the end of knowledge? Bhakti. It was really his sacrifice and devotion which was his greatest attribute. And Prabhupada describes it was his humility that so many of his godbrothers and so many scholars are actually much better than him at scholarship. And some of his disciples, who had big, big degrees at Yale University, Harvard University, in Sanskrit, they became devotees. They studied under him, and they were at the same time studying very scrutinizingly all of these academic subjects in regard to the Vedas, and they felt that they were more learned than Prabhupada. And from an academic point of view, perhaps they were. And because of this, they could not be submissive before him. They were thinking that my academic understanding of Sanskrit grammar is superior to my guru's. So therefore their humble service attitude was spoiled by this conception. And ultimately, out of pride, they left their Gurudev, thinking, I know what you are teaching is too preliminary for someone as advanced in Vedantic study, somebody like me. So what happened to those people? Many of them just fell down completely into materialistic life. Most of them did. They became professors at universities. No devotion. And others, they just went on their own. They went to some other guru. And in this way, because of this aparad, Krishna is not going to be very generous in giving them his mercy to such persons. Srila Prabhupada's greatness was his complete sacrifice and surrender to the Lord, and he was a great scholar, but that was not his real opulence. And just to show this, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu approached Prakasananda Saraswati Thakur, he approached him in that way. That you are great scholars. You know the Vedas inside and out. You know all the aphorisms, all the slokas. You've spent your whole life in this field. I just chant the holy names. My Guru Maharaj said, I'm not fit to study the Vedas. Just chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And therefore my Guru, because he gave me his blessings, I achieved love of God. And following in the footsteps of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Sanatana Goswami, who was most learned, he factually was the most learned. It doesn't mean that being learned is a curse. Being learned is a benediction only if it's situated on the foundation of humility. Otherwise, it is a curse. Janmaishwarya Shruti Shibir Edamanam Avapumam. Queen Kunti said, good education, high birth, physical beauty, good parentage, strength, all these opulences, they are curses if you become proud. But if they are built on the foundation of humility, they are great opulences. Sanatana Goswami was most learned, most erudite, highly educated and academic. But when he approached Gauranga Mahaprabhu, he did not say, "Oh, I am a very learned scholar. Could you give me something more than I already know?" He didn't say like that. He said, "I don't know anything. All this scholarship, there's no realization. There's no substance. I cite any shastra, but I don't even know who I am. I'm still addicted to the senses and the mind."
You were listening to Radhanath Swami on devotionalnectar.com.